Good evening.
Hello, Troy.
Hello, Rosanne. I'd like to introduce Rosanne Plante. She is our legal advisor for Nationwide Pageantry. I am Troy Fienhold-Haasis. I'm the National Director for Nationwide Pageantry, and we are pleased to welcome you tonight for our first ever Q&A Meet the Crown with our national title holders tonight.
Yes, we are. We're excited to have our 3 national title holders here to answer all of your questions about becoming involved in the amazing system that we have here in Nationwide Pageantry and Foundation.
Yes, so we are going to just jump right in and introduce each of our title holders, and then we will bring them back as a group and we will start with some questions and answers. So first, we are going to bring in our Miss Nationwide 2022.
Good evening.
Hi, Christina.
Hello, Rosanne. Hi, Troy. How are y'all?
Hi. If you just want to quick introduce yourself, that would be great.
Perfect. My name is Christina King. My platform is Saving Lives and Empowering Young People by mentorship of the LGBTQIA youth of our community.
All right. We will see you in just a little bit. All right. Next up, we'd like to introduce our Mrs. Nationwide.
Hi, Kandis.
Sorry, guys. Hi, I'm here now. Sorry. Hi, Rosanne. Hi, Troy.
Hi, Kandis.
I'm Kandis. I am Mrs. Nationwide, and my platform is mentoring through volunteering.
All right. Wonderful. We will see you in just a little bit.
Thank you.
And we would like to introduce our Ms. Nationwide.
Hi, Mary, all the way from California.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Harrison, and I am our Ms. Nationwide 2022, and my platform is Literacy for Life, encouraging reading and writing for all ages.
All right. We will bring you back in just a minute.
Sounds good.
All right. So we ready, Rosanne?
We are. Let's quiz our national title holders and see what they can share with our viewers.
And just so our viewers know, you can leave comments or questions anytime. And if you have a question, we will put that on the screen and you can direct it to any one of the title holders. All right, so we're going to bring them all back. We've got Christina, Miss Nationwide, Kandis, Mrs. Nationwide, and Mary, Ms. Nationwide. Welcome back, ladies.
Hi, Troy.
Hi.
Hello.
All right, I'll let Rosanne start.
All right. Ladies, we are trying to get the word out about our programs. And the first thing we want to start today is, can you tell, each of you tell what your platform is and how you selected it?
I'll start. So for me, it was, again, my platform is Saving Lives and Empowering Young People by mentorship of the LGBTQIA youth in that community. The reason why I picked this platform is it is something that's very near and dear to my heart. As a LGBTQIA person myself, I felt that it was important for me to give back to the community, for me to show up for the community. So often we see that there's not representation, and I think representation is a huge point that so many of our youth need to see. One of my mentees, Mariah, has this great saying, and it goes, you can't be what you can't see. And so for me, when we have representation, we are able to embody and see what we have the potential to be. And without that, it's really hard for us to envision who we could be or our fullest potential.
Okay, thank you.
I can go next.
Okay.
My platform is mentoring through volunteering. My husband and I are both mentors, and with kids, we decided that really we wanted to, walk the walk and talk the talk. You have to be who you are and say who you are. So we decided that we wanted to do that, mentoring our children to be positive role models through volunteering. I am fortunate enough that my job lets me volunteer on the clock through various organizations, and then we continue that with our kids.
Awesome. Mary?
Yes, so my platform is Literacy for Life, reading and encouraging reading and writing through all ages. And I selected that because I'm a teacher. And of course, the last 2 years through COVID, we saw a big drop in literacy rates in the United States, and not just in our children, but in our adults as well. Literacy rates are very, very low in the United States, and it's costing us a lot of money. It costs our medical departments and our insurance companies, and also it is a direct contributor whenever it comes to rates of crime. 70% of American inmates cannot read above a 4th grade level. So it's something that if we can encourage and build our reading and writing abilities, we can actually help a lot. Our economy, our crime rates, and just live better, more healthy lives as well.
Okay. Just a quick follow-up, ladies. Why select a pageant that has a platform component? Christina, we'll go back to you.
Absolutely. It's a great way to push yourself to do more in your community. I would probably say the same thing for all my sister queens, that we are all very active in our communities. We all do volunteerism. We all, our platforms are very intricate and are very important to us, and they're something that we hold dear. And so when you compete, I obviously have the pageant bag. I love competing in pageants and getting to dress up and wear the crowns and do the makeup and hair. But more so, I love the fact that it helps remind me why, the real why behind my platform, and why it's important, and why we should be out volunteering, why we should be doing these things. So for me personally, it's great to have that support of a pageant to say, hey, we want to help further you. We want to help advertise that you are doing this and this is your platform, and help get the word out that this is the work you're doing, that you're already doing in your community. So why not do it with the crown and sash on?
Perfect. Okay. Kandis?
Yeah, so I was going to say a lot along the lines what Christina said, that your platform also helps, build the inside, so to speak, but then, it helps to give exposure to your platform. In the reverse, it helps to give exposure to the pageant. It also, I noticed too that people listen to a woman with a crown and a sash on. It sparkles and it's pretty. And when someone steps up on stage with a microphone and they've got a crown and sash, they'll listen. So, it's a two-way street of promotion and even recruiting.
It really does open doors. Yes, it
does. And the networking part of it too opens doors. I mean, that's how I got involved with some of the volunteer work that my husband and I do is through pageants.
And Mary?
Yeah, I think definitely what Kandis said, when people see a crown, they automatically walk up to you. It's, I'm 5'2". Like, I am easily lost in a crowd. Doesn't even matter if I'm wearing my huge platform shoes. Like, everyone else is taller than me. So as soon as they see like something sparkly, like walking around, like their attention's automatically drawn and they want to talk to you, and it's automatic credibility, right? Like, someone has said, yes, you know what you're talking about, and we want you to spread the word and talk more about it. And so people just come up and want to talk to you just by knowing, you got the sash or the crown, and you're just automatically a face for something, and that credibility is there. And I think that is so empowering. Like my sister Queen said, people want to hear from you, and then they want to get involved beyond that.
Thank you, ladies.
Wanted to let our audience know that we are actually streaming live on 8 different channels. We're streaming live on our National Pageantry Facebook page, on our Miss Nationwide Charitable Foundation page, on my National Director page, on each of the title holders' personal title holder pages. We're also streaming on our Miss Nationwide YouTube channel and on our Miss Nationwide Twitter account. So if you're watching, in the comments, we would love for you to tell us what channel or what page on Facebook you actually are watching us from. That would be nice to know. We also have a quick message here we'll throw up on the screen from Nicole to Christina. Got a fan watching.
Hi, Nicole.
All right. So my question to each of you is very simple. why Nationwide Pageantry?
I have a very funny story about why I competed for Nationwide. Every time I get a chance, I always tell this story. So it started back in 2019 when I got a Facebook message from Nationwide Pageantry who was like, "Hey, I saw your Instagram. I would really love for you to compete." It was telling me about the pageant, and I actually had a state title for a different pageant. And so at the time I couldn't, and I was like, well, maybe soon. And let me tell you, my director, Troy, is very convincing. He just kept saying, "Hey, Christina, are you going to compete this year? Hey, Christina, are you going to compete this year? Just checking in. Are you going to compete?" And I was like, well, I don't know, maybe. And so for me, it was that personal touch. It was having a director who was already interested and already invested in myself. And that really is the Nationwide Pageantry family. You know, both our director and our staff that we have are so invested in you. And it's so refreshing to be in a system where, you know that they care and that they want you to show up and that they want you to be there. And so for me, that's my funny story. I always laugh and say, it's because my director was very persistent and was like, "Hey, I really want you to compete. Hey, will you come and compete?" And so that was my draw. And as soon as I did, I was a little bit nervous. This was my only second ever cisgender, so pageant, and it was a wonderful experience.
Yes, I will say I can be very, very persistent. Kandis, the same question to you. Why Nationwide Pageantry?
I was going to say that too. Persistent, but kind. It's a very kind persistent, Troy. Let's see. I personally, I had competed in another system, and I enjoyed it. I missed the pageant experience as a Mrs. There aren't a lot of pageants here in Nebraska. So I wanted to get back into it. It helped me commit to some personal goals as well. Personal friendships with some of the folks that I know through the system. And, I just wanted to do it again. But why I chose Nationwide, really what it stands for, what the system itself stands for. The support that I got, not only from Troy and Rosanne, but I truly love what the system stands for. I believe, Troy, it was I can't remember the year, but you made the stance to accept women of all gender, naturally born women, women in transition. And that to me was, that to me is what brought me that. It's come as you are. It's truly about who you are as a person, what your platform stands for, and that's why I love it. We can be who we are.
It was nationals of 2019.
Yeah.
After about 6 months worth of deliberation and discussion among our title holders and our past title holders and board members in that, where we decided to drop the requirement of born female and made it open to all women, equality for all women across the board. And it's interesting because now we see that happening in a lot of the major pageants across the globe.
Yeah.
So it was nice to be kind of one of the first. It wasn't really known at the first that we announced it, but it's nice to be kind of one of the trailblazers in that, and then to have Christina this year as a national title holder. So, let me see. Let me go here. So, same question to you, Mary. Why Nationwide Pageantry?
So I've been with Nationwide for a while, ever since our very first national pageant that was in person in 2015 when I competed as Miss Oklahoma and in Houston. And I originally got involved because I saw it was then Miss Nebraska. It was a Facebook ad of the then Miss Nebraska with the crown. And the crown was a little different back then. And like super heavy. So like, oh my goodness, but like gorgeous. Right. And I was like, I want that crown. So I competed. Like that was I was like, I want that crown. And then a couple years later, I came back when Troy added the Ms. division, because I was like right on the edge of like aging out of Miss at the time. And so then whenever he added the Ms. division and changed the sashes from purple to pink, I was like, I want a pink sash. Clearly, I have a pink Christmas tree and I'm sitting on my floor so that it is in the screenshot here. And I was like, I want a pink sash. I've never had a pink sash. I've had purple, like plenty of purple sashes. I was like, but I want a pink one. And so I competed, and that was in 2019 whenever we made the announcement that Kandis was just referring to. And it was just a lot. And then, of course, we had 2020 was a crazy year. In 2021 in California was still absolutely nuts. And then Troy, like you guys were saying, persistent, he messaged me, he's like, what is it going to take to get you back? Because I was so like, oh my gosh, I've done this twice. Like, I don't know if I want to do this again. Oh my goodness. And just decided, okay. And then my nationals experience, even this year, was pretty crazy, but it was so fun. I know Rosanne was calling me. We had a slab leak, like, and everything torn out of my room and stuff put in a storage unit, like, couple weeks before nationals, and Roseanne's calling me going, what do you need? I've got shoes. We can FaceTime. You can look at all the jewelry. You can tell me what you need. I mean, it was so supportive. I was like, okay, I'm not going to show up at this pageant with pajamas and nothing else. Like, I'm going to be okay. It's fine. And it was just wonderful to see how everyone came together. And I've legitimately known Troy since 2015. I mean, we were texting each other road construction and road closures, driving back through Texas, me going back to Oklahoma, Troy going back to Iowa. So it was we've been close ever since then. And, you know, to now be a national title holder for him is phenomenal. To see this, to be with Nationwide ever since our first in-person pageant and see it grow has been incredible.
It's been a journey.
I'm going to jump in for just a minute and interrupt Mr. National Director, because you ladies have all brought up something, and I want our viewers to know that Troy was officially globally recognized for all the things that you said in May in Seattle, Washington. And I was present when he won Best Director for a smaller pageant and brought home a gorgeous Global Beauty Award. And so well deserved. I was so proud of him, and I was just so elated for him. So he has been, you know, globally recognized for that, as our team and our title holders. Troy, how many nominations did we have last year?
Last year we had 9 nominations across the team.
Right, and Troy and I have been working toward Global Beauty, and we anticipate to double that, don't we, Troy, for the 2023 awards in April?
We are hoping.
We are hoping, yes.
So, yes, and also at that same Global Beauties back in May, Rosanne won the Best in Education Global Beauty Award for 2022. So we brought 2 trophies home last year.
Yes, Troy got to present it, and I was still so thrilled he won that I barely remembered that I was up for one, and then I won. So it was a super fun night. Yes.
All right, before we do another question, we have some comments. We had asked where people were watching from, and Dinah Lorraine is watching from our Miss Nationwide Foundation page. We have a message here. Our former Miss Nationwide, Shannon, is watching on our Miss Nationwide Facebook page and has a message to everybody. Elizabeth O'Connor is watching on our Facebook Nationwide pageant page. And then we have a hello from our current Mrs. Nebraska Nationwide 2023, Melissa. She will be competing at Nationals in March. And then we have a quick question here that I'm going to bring up. Elizabeth says, what about women over 50, any classic division? That's an interesting question that has been discussed very recently. At this point, we're not going to add any type of classic elite senior division, because our current divisions, the Miss division goes up to 30, the Ms is 30 and up, and the Mrs is 21 and up. So age does not matter. It's based upon whether you're the Miss in the Miss category, the Ms or the Mrs. At this point, we really don't want to start adding the elite classic senior. Everybody competes, and it's based on performance and mainly platform. So that kind of answers that question, I hope. But Elizabeth, you're free to message me. I know we've had messages back and forth, and we can discuss that maybe more, but definitely send me a message. If anybody wants to contact us directly, you can email us at nationwidepageantry@gmail.com. Currently, our website has disappeared, and we are working on getting a new website with a new host and backups and everything. But currently, we're functioning through our email and through Facebook. So please get hold of us. We have lots of titles that are available for nationals coming up in March. And
it's not too late,
Sure.
ladies.
yes.
I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what you were talking about earlier. I think that's one of the things that is so special about Nationwide compared to other pageant systems is that all women are allowed to compete and are allowed to compete with their peers. As the first trans and the second woman of color to compete, it's refreshing to be able to compete with people who are my age, who are very similar to myself. So to that point of being 50, that you can compete as a Ms., I love that. I love that we don't have to have a plus division and we don't have to have an over this age division. I love that like all women, all body shapes, all styles, identities are able to compete. And it doesn't matter who you are or what you look like. It's about really what you bring to the table. It's really about bringing your true authentic self and being willing to share that and being willing to stand by your convictions and to speak to your platform and know your platform and be able to educate the public on that.
Where's my clapping emoji when I need it? Christina, yes, that's exactly what I was trying to say earlier. You said it much better. It's all women. I mean, all shapes, sizes, backgrounds, colors. I mean, it is all of us, and you're there to support one another. And you know, I hate to say this, but competing in a swimsuit competition in 6-inch heels, that's not normal. That's not normal, and that's not fun. So I mean, it really is. So I guess Elizabeth, I would say do it. Email Troy right after this Q&A.
And we have had older title holders. I'm just throwing that
out
there.
Oh,
yes. That's yeah. I'm just
All start to baby, ladies.
we just didn't put an age cap because we didn't need to. We've had such quality contestants and quality title holders that whenever even I walk in a room and I've been competing 20 years, and I was like, I want to be her when I grow up, and she won.
We have had a Ms. National title holder that I know was at least 50.
Yes.
Years ago.
Angela.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't want to be like, Angela, was this? Sorry, Angela.
No.
She was like amazing. Like just talking to her, I was like, she's got it.
Angela wore that badge. She wore that badge with pride.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
She is the new 30
and the knee replacement, Kandis. She was like, I've had a knee replacement. I can't be in heels this long. We were just laughing so hard because it was so fun. And I think being, I was that young, thin title holder back in the day, and now I'm not. And I get to be who I am and still represent what I want to promote and represent. And really, like the ladies have said, you get to bring your true self here
and I think be who you are. Yeah, and I think it shines through. I mean, I think your authenticity and being your true self and being true to who you are, it all shines through too.
Age is just a number. So
yes.
If you're 50 and over, I encourage you, as somebody who's 50 and over, jump in.
We have a quick message. We have a quick comment. Thank you, Elizabeth. And then also a quick message from Shannon. Just kind of echoing what the three of you have just got done saying. All right, so.
Is it back to me, Troy?
Do what?
Is it back to me?
Yes, your turn.
Okay, ladies, we are speaking to the people out there that maybe have never been a title holder. We're all veterans, us ladies here tonight. But if you're brand new, like I was back when and just for the ladies who are over 20, I got back and I did a very short stint of pageants early in college, and then I didn't get back in until I was 44. So when I jumped back in at 44, and that's how I met Troy through a mutual friend, I didn't know what a state title holder really did. And I had to learn it from Troy and on really just on the job. So tell anybody who's brand new, who's never done this pageant thing, but is really curious, what is it like and what should you expect to do as a state title holder?
As a state title holder, it's so exciting. I'm so sorry. And I apologize in advance that I have to keep muting myself. I have a little bit of a cold, so I'm kind of sniffly, so I keep muting myself so no one has to listen to that. As a state title holder, one of my main jobs I felt was to promote my platform. And I think sometimes when people look at being either a state title holder or a national title holder, they find it to be a somewhat daunting process. They think, oh my gosh, I have to travel 80,000 miles year round. There's so many events, especially post-COVID, that you can do virtually. So before I went to nationals, I think I had signed up for the pageant in May, April or May, and then we competed obviously in late July. And so for me in that time, I visited my local schools. I spoke to the children because that was part of my platform. I went to some local clubs that support LGBTQIA individuals. So whether that be support groups or different things like that, to just spread awareness of both what my platform is, the issues that face the community, and also what I was competing for and why I was competing for that. And so I think as a state title holder, the biggest thing is continue to do the work in your community. But again, you get to wear a pretty crown and sash, and it gives you that credibility. As my sister said, it gives you that air that when you walk into a room, people are like, oh, she is someone. She knows what she's talking about. She is here to do the work. And so for me, I think it's just start local, start small and build from there. As you go, then start going to other cities near you and throughout your state to share your message.
Okay, thank you. Kandis?
Well, Christina, that was a very good answer. I agree. I think a day in the life of a state title holder, it is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too. I mean, we do various volunteer events. Sometimes it's with Nebraska Humane Society. We've also done things with the bell ringing with the Salvation Army. So, we've got 4 kids, so it's getting your kids involved too. And so it can be, we did a parade in the fall, and it can be a lot of work getting everybody to the event. But once you get there, it's a lot of fun. So I would say, if you're a Mrs. and you can include your family and your kids, I would say get your kids and family involved. But like Christina said, start small. I started small things I was in Bellevue at the time. So things within Bellevue, things within my work. Like I mentioned, my work allows us to volunteer with the company. So we did a lot with teammates. So it started small and it just kind of grew from there. There really isn't a whole lot that we'll say no to, especially kid friendly events, like parades and those kind of things. We always take our kids there. So my answer would be, it is a lot of hard work, but it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
And
Mary?
Actually, Kandis just got done helping with a big charity event a week ago.
Yes.
For Ava's Army Sugar Plum Ball.
Yep, Ava's Army Sugar Plum Ball. And that we plan to get more involved with next year too. So that was my husband's first time being at that event, and he had a great time. Probably a little too much fun bidding on some of the items, but I got him involved. It makes things easier on me if they're supported by my family. So with him getting involved, we're going to get involved even more with Ava's Army this year.
Did you get the Kansas City weekend?
No. We lost. We got outbid.
We won't talk about the stuff that we won't talk about everything that I won. All right.
Mary?
Yeah, so being in California, it's huge, and our traffic is terrible, and our gas prices are super high. So trying to get involved in anything has been insane because California was closed the last 2 years. So events that were happening in 2019 weren't happening in 2020, looked different in 2021. And then now this year they've kind of been like, oh, hey, we're doing it. But then we couldn't find any information on how to sign up on anything. And so you see on Facebook posts, people asking, how can I sign my dance troupe up for this? How can I sign this? You know, everyone's trying to figure it out again. And I'm right there in the middle of it. So it's nice to see I'm not the only one feeling completely lost and trying to get out there. But the great thing about what our world is now is through social media, I'm still able to share my platform. I'm still able to share what we're doing and supporting Nationwide Pageantry, doing graphics and things like that, I kind of have an area of expertise in marketing and things like that. So it hasn't been the national or state title holder experience that I always expected, simply because we were still shut down when I took the California title again. I mean, it was gone. So I've done some events where I went and just kind of walked around anything that I could, like Kandis and Christina were saying, local that was happening that I could go to. We did. But anything that's been a little bigger that you have to sign up for, there's been all sorts of confusion and right hand's not talking to left hand, and we've been a little stuck. But still looking, right? And like not ever giving up on those opportunities, trying to get as far ahead as possible. That's always a big one, look out to see, if you know of an event that might be happening, try to find out who to contact ahead of time so you can get in. I suddenly remembered the Hollywood Christmas Parade happened, and I was like, oh yeah. And I quickly sent them an email 2 weeks before the parade, and they're like, oh, we're full. I'm like, well, I'm sure. And I wouldn't have even remembered, because literally the last 2 years, nothing has happened. So it's been interesting getting things back and running again. And now we've got things kind of shutting down again. So it's a fun year. And I've been looking at other things. I'm like, I'm going to fly somewhere and go do this. But yeah, gas prices went up even for flights. So it's been an interesting year, but I love that through social media, I'm still able to connect and share and talk about, my platform and things that are important to me. So, I, especially working with it, I send my students and the kids I work with books for the holidays, and get them working. I sent them books over the summer with the Barnes and Noble reading logs so that they could earn a book over summer. So I'm still doing it. It's just not in person.
So ladies, would your message be that a title holder doesn't have to create an entire event? They can plug into events and network to events. And then, like Mary said, use social media, because I know there's blogs out there. I know there's people with YouTube channels. These are all things people could do. So would that summarize what everybody thinks is that plug into what's already there?
100%.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Don't beat yourself up trying to plan something. Just, make it easier. And then once you're seasoned, especially if this is your first time, and then once you're seasoned, you can plan something like Ava's Sugar Plum Ball and events like that. But yeah, if it's your first go, don't stress about it.
I just want to remind our watchers, if you've joined recently, you can leave comments. You can ask questions of the title holders. If you just post those, we will get to those as they pop up. Also, we would love to know what channel you're watching us from, whether it was one of our Facebook pages, whether it's Twitter, whether it's YouTube. We also, this last year, we added youth categories to Nationwide Pageantry for the first time. We have a princess category of 3 to 6 years. Preteen, Nationwide Preteen is 7 to 10 years. Nationwide Junior Teen is 11 to 14 years. Nationwide Teen is 15 to 17. And then we picked up with our Miss, our Mrs., and our Ms. Categories. So we have seven age divisions now. We have our youth divisions, and then what we consider our adult senior divisions. And we will, if you message us, send us an email, catch us on Facebook, we can get you more information about nationals coming up the end of March. I want to kind of piggyback off of the question that we were just talking about of what our expectations for state title holders are. And my question is, what did you do to get ready for nationals?
Oh my goodness. There was a myriad of things. It started with dress shopping and interview prep. And I think this comes back to the point we just talked about, that it doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to, it may seem like such a large project, but just break it up into little tiny pieces. So for me, interview prep can be just having a conversation. If your Uncle Troy wants to hop on a call with you and just ask you some current event questions, ask you some things about your platform, start there and then build from there. Just kind of grow and practice that way, and get your friends involved, get your family involved, because it is kind of a family affair, right? When we're, as pageant girls, we expend a lot of energy, and it takes a whole village to keep us going. So I would say loop them in for that aspect. And then for me, it was working on brushing up on my walk. This was my first pageant post-COVID. And so I hadn't really had to wear heels all day, every day in 2 or 3 years. And so getting back in the swing of things. So getting comfortable in your skin. And again, it's just knowing who you are, being comfortable with who you are, and being comfortable with projecting that, and being comfortable with presenting that to your judges and to your peers, really. Because again, it's a sisterhood. When you enter any pageant, you really do become family.
Kandis?
For me, it was, I always tell my kids, you can do whatever you want. You can be whatever you want to be. You just have to try. So for me, it was really, again, going back to the mentoring and role modeling, putting myself out there and showing my kids that once you set a goal, what you need to do to, the work that you need to put in to accomplish it. So I'm incredibly fortunate that my husband likes to work out. So I had a gym partner, someone to go to the gym with, and, practicing interviewing with anyone and everyone. I did study pageant questions, but by studying pageant questions, I didn't rehearse my answer, but I would go through questions, maybe political questions or current events, and not to necessarily memorize my answer, but at least to know where I stood, and to get a clear understanding of where I stood, and if I were asked that question, how I would be able to communicate it with someone who, because you don't know when you get asked a question like that, I should say sometimes you don't know depending on how the question is worded, which way the person is agreeing, or which way their opinions are. So, I just made sure that, especially coming out of COVID, making sure, I had answers prepared that could, and I don't mean to say, doesn't answer the question, but that also wouldn't turn people off or set people off, kind of thing. So I did do some practicing on some questions, just knowing where my opinions were. And then, like Christina said, because of that, some of them had to be, you had to be authentic and true to yourself, and, know who you are, to put yourself on either side of some of those questions. And then I really practice a lot of self-love and self-care. I'm not getting any younger, and I've never been a size 2, and I'm probably never going to be a size 2. So, just, working with what I've got, So it was a whole body experience, inside and outside.
Okay, Mary.
So I got a new dress because I had a dress from a pageant that I did kind of during COVID, but I didn't want to travel with it. When I did that pageant, my mom came with me, so I had an extra suitcase because that dress it's a whole suitcase by itself. And I was like, I don't want to take that one. It's just by myself. It was just like too cumbersome. So I got a dress that could travel. And then I was like, hey, we noticed like after the fact that all the Ms. contestants have worn a white dress when they've won. And I was like, oh my gosh, perfect that I switched from the red one to the white one. And so that was really funny to see that's what happened. Kind of the universe was like, whoa, do this. So then we had the biggest thing I think I did other than buying the dress was because I bought that online for like $100, like resale, like I'm not even playing. And so then I put together my platform presentation because that's a big part of Nationwide is your platform presentation, which is so wonderful because I think one of the hardest things in pageant interview is to steer the interview where you want it to go, because I have always had that one judge that will turn it the other way just because there's something on my bio that they find really interesting, that they want to talk about. It always seems to be like a judge that they're just genuinely curious. Like they're not trying to like steer it a different direction. They're just generally curious. And then that brings up other things. And now we're off on something else. But with our platform presentations, you automatically start off saying this is what we're going to talk about. And as a teacher, like I love that. Like this is what we're going to talk about. It's right here. And so I had just finished like 2 months before the pageant, I finished my master's in library and information science. So I had all of the facts, but it was just putting it in and whittling it down to the time that we had in a concise manner where I'm not going to be talking like the Flash as fast as humanly possible, but in a concise manner to where they're going to get the information and understand why my platform's so important and understand it. And I remember our judge buddy sitting there going, oh my goodness, I had no idea. And just genuinely like excited about that. So that was like the biggest thing that I was most proud of to put together. The rest of it kind of all fell into place. Digging through my storage unit, trying to find my shoes, trying to find my earrings, Rosanne calling, going, don't worry about it. If you need it, I've got it. I was like, okay, I have a dress. I have my platform presentation. Like I'm good. Everything else, I will Target, DoorDash it if I need to. Like it's fine. And call Rosanne because she'll bring it. Like it's okay. So, and that was probably the biggest thing I think for me was getting that platform presentation. I'm still so proud of it. It's still on my Google Drive. I'm so proud of it.
Ladies, when you all mentioned purchasing some things, but it does not have to be expensive. Isn't that correct? I love that Mary bought a dress that was
$100.
$100. It's not. Would you say to somebody new to this, do you need to spend $20,000? And I always tell people, no. There are lots of people like me that have way too many pageanteering shoes and all those things, and they're willing to sell them, lend them, give them to you. Talk a little bit, if you will, any of you about that, or if any of you have ever used sponsors, how helpful a sponsor can be to help you obtain some of these necessary wardrobe items and other things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that pageants can be affordable. I think it's easy to do so. Actually, a funny story about that is everyone always, every time after my interview and I posted pictures, everyone was like, oh my God, Christina, your interview dress is impeccable. It is a red scuba. If you've not had a chance to look, I'm sure there are pictures out there. And if not, please message me and I will show you pictures. It's a red scuba dress with a giant ruffle. And everyone's like, that is exquisite. That has to be custom. Blah. It wasn't. It was Amazon. So there's so many ways to do pageantry. I think because we have e-commerce so strong nowadays, there's so many options. And again, as you said, you can get things at Amazon. You can get them secondhand. You can borrow things. You can rent things. There's websites out there on Facebook. I know I'm in at least 5 different pageant swap, resale, all those different pages to buy dresses and earrings and shoes and anything you can think of, hair pieces, whatever you could possibly need. Someone probably has it that they're selling or willing to rent. As well, using your sponsorship. So for me, I did a lot of fundraising at first, which was just asking my friends and family if they'd be willing to support me and to donate towards my goal of becoming Miss Nationwide. And they did. And I did have a business sponsor who helped with some of those things. So some of those expenses, you can ask people, hey, I need this pair of shoes, or hey, I'm looking at this dress. I really would love some help. Please feel free to pitch in. And you would be amazed if you put the ask out there. So many people want to just help people achieve their goals. And so even with me, I know that the people who donated to me donated because they know me. They know the work I do in the community. They know what I want to achieve as a title holder, and they want to see me succeed. And so I think it's just asking your friends and family, asking businesses that you know, asking business owners that you know, or businesses that you frequent, hey, would you like to donate to this? This is what I'm doing. Here's my platform. And just sharing that message with people, because it gets that buy-in. And a lot of people are very interested in that. And a lot of people want to support people who are doing good work and doing volunteerism to make not only themselves better, but their communities better.
And Christina, when you said that you have a business partner, then you can turn around and do appearances for them, and then you're doing two things at once. So
absolutely. And your business partner loves it. A little hint here. They love the free publicity. Well, it's not free publicity, but it is free publicity. They can say, oh, Miss Nationwide was in today, or she stopped by and took a picture. She did this. She said hi. My business sponsor, we were at a city event here. It's the Taste of Galesburg in the community that I live in. And I ran over to her and I said hi, and I thanked her. This was probably a few weeks after I had just come back from nationals. And she gave me a big hug, and we took a picture, and I shared it, and we talked about it. And I just thanked her business. And that, again, just gives that traction of, oh my gosh, I can't believe that Shirley is supporting her. That's so amazing. I really want to support her business in turn.
Yeah. Kandis?
Yes. So I think, like Christina said, go through people that you regularly do business with, services that you regularly do business with, and see if, they're able to help. But I also wanted to say that I know obviously you want to have probably the money to help pay for help, but you can also they can also donate services. My hair stylist helped me a couple of times with my hair. My tanning girl helped me out a couple of times with tanning sessions. So, I mean, there's some ways to do some trading in there. And then as Christina said, I always offered, if somebody donated even a service or money, let me come out and, make an appearance, or, it was social media anymore. You can always thank people on your Facebook pages or whatever app you use for your social media, but then also going back out there, they would donate a service or money, and then I would donate my time to whatever event they had. So in this day and age, there are a lot of ways to get really creative with it, for not just money, but then, like I said, services too. Services that you need to prepare. I 1 year, one organization that I worked with, they weren't able to donate money, but they let me have some free workout sessions. So, things like that. There's a lot of different ways to do it.
Okay, Mary?
Just gotta get creative.
Yeah, I kind of had to redo my whole wardrobe because of just weight gain during the pandemic, and then a new medicine that I was put on. So all of a sudden nothing fit. And so it was ordering everything and not knowing if it was going to fit or not. And so there was a lot of things that I ordered from little boutiques and I was trying to find the best deals on stuff. And they don't fit. So if you're a size 10, let me know, because I have a whole pageant wardrobe for you, because it said it was a large, but I was on the cusp of a large, extra large at the time. And yeah, if you're a 10, 8, 10, it'll fit. 12, no. So it was a fun kind of craziness to be oh, that's cute, darn. Oh, that's awesome, though. So then I had to get kind of creative with who I was looking at and what vendors I was looking at. And so I ended up getting this outfit came from Avenue, which there used to be one right by my house. They closed during the pandemic, and so now they're just online. So I literally went online. They were having a bunch of sales, and I ordered like a bunch of stuff. And then I had stuff from the past that did fit that I got whenever other places were closing on sale. And so, yeah, if you sign up on time, you can hit up some good sales, like the after prom sales and the different holiday sales, because every store that used to be my go-to kind of closed during the pandemic, unfortunately, and that made it very difficult where I live to shop. So I definitely had to turn to the internet, but with that, some pretty good deals came from it because I was finding stuff on sale. And like my dress came from Queenly. I got it from another girl for $100, and the big red dress that I had before that came from Poshmark and came from another pageant title holder. And she even sent me the earrings to match it. She was like, here you go. She didn't charge me for them. She knew I was competing in a pageant. She threw them in and sent it. I just didn't travel with that dress because I needed another human with me. But the white one, yeah, $100, put it in the bag, doesn't wrinkle. And it was great. And I got so many outfits from like Avenue and what was the other one? Fashion Nova, I think it was. It's like an online site. And I would like just went on their site just late at night and they were having a sale and just ordered it. So yeah, and it's stuff. I try to buy stuff that I'll probably wear multiple times. Like I'm wearing this again. This is my welcome reception outfit. And I have a few other things that were super cute. I think the only thing I bought full price were a pair of pink Steve Maddens that I was going to wear for a gala that were super cute. That was like the only thing I bought full price. And that's only because I really wanted them. But everything else was on sale.
Well, and I think my best tip, I'll just chime in here with the ladies, is recently I have a number of gowns, and I have taken gowns to a seamstress and have them reworked.
Oh yeah.
So most recently I had a very classic, oh my goodness, I don't want to say how long I've had it. And I simply took an overskirt from another gown and had the seamstress place clips so I could use that overskirt. And I actually had it so that it is interchangeable with a black pantsuit and now this other gown plus the original gown. So I call it Frankensteining a dress, but some other people just call it redesigning, and you have new outfits with what you already have. And I think that is a great, we're all about sustainable fashion now in the fashion world, and I wanted to join in that. Plus, once again, it's another great way to cut costs. And that's my favorite tip. So thank you, ladies. Pageants do not have to break the bank.
You know, and while we were talking about the cost in that, you know, Nationwide Pageantry, our state fee is $275. That includes your state crown and your state sash. The national sponsorship fee is $300 to come to nationals. And then as a national contestant, you do a 2-page spotlight ad, which spotlights you and your platform, and that's $175. So your total cost to come compete at nationals is $750. Travel in that, we don't include that because no matter what pageant you're in, most pageants you pay for your travel and most you pay for your hotel. So that's going to be there no matter what. We like to think that, you know, we're low cost and that it makes it more affordable for everybody. Real quick, I just want to mention our categories. So if there's people watching and they're thinking about competing, we always say that if you don't have a platform that you're passionate about, you're not going to go far at nationals, because the private interview is 30% of your score. The interview platform presentation that you start your interview with is 20%. And then you do an onstage platform statement, which is 10%. So right there, 60% of your total score at nationals is based upon your platform and your interview. And your interview is mainly based upon your platform. So then you also have an onstage interview, which is 10%. We do a personal style and expression, which we like to kind of say is like New York runway, but it's how you express yourself in an outfit on stage. That's 15%. And elegance and evening gown is in evening wear is 15%. And that's our categories. We do a final question at the end. But basically it's interview, your platform presentation, personal style and expression, and your evening wear. We're getting toward the end of our time. If there's anybody watching and they want to ask a question, please feel free to post a question in the comments and we'll get that before we're done. My last question for the three of you is, what advice would you give to somebody who is a new nationwide title holder. Now, whether they be a state or a national title holder, what advice would you give them?
Trust yourself because you won for a reason. Be kind to yourself and enjoy every moment. It flies by quick. The thought that it's been 4 or 5 months already it makes me want to cry because I just feel like this year has just flown so quickly. But I think those are the 3 things I would say.
I would say enjoy it. Soak it all in. Soak in all the love, all the good feelings, and enjoy it. It goes by fast. You put in a lot of hard work to get yourself there. So like Christina said, be kind to yourself, love yourself for all the hard work that you did, and enjoy the ride. It in the grand scheme of things, a year is a short time. So, and it goes by so fast. So, and just enjoy it.
I think number one, have a platform that you're really passionate about, because I know I've competed in the past trying to figure out what my platform even would be, what I would speak about for the whole year that I had the title. And it was like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, I don't even want to be interviewed on it, versus having one that you do want to talk about, because then you're automatically, your interview is going to be easier, because like I said earlier, you start off with that presentation. So you walk in already knowing what you're going to talk about. I mean, I've walked into interviews where I didn't know what the first question was going to be, and I just stood there until someone asked. And it's crazy, versus this is what we're going to talk about. And it's something that I'm passionate about. So definitely have a platform that you are passionate about. My platform this year, actually, a pageant director that I've had in the past had suggested it a couple years ago. And I was just like, no, because it's like my job. So I couldn't figure out how to transfer that from my job to a platform. And I've managed now. So but it took a couple tries. So definitely, if you need help, I mean, we're here. We've all kind of been in that situation, and we're going to help, because we don't want anyone to feel like they're drowning or they're in over their head. And you're not going to feel like that here. And especially if you have something that you are super, super into, that you want to talk about and share and promote.
Troy, do we want to mention also that with the fees, that we can make an arrangement with payment plans?
Oh yes, we can do. We've made many type of payment plans. We can be creative. We never want that to be an obstacle for somebody to compete.
No.
And the youth division has their own fees, because we offer optionals, and their fees are much less. And then we have optional categories that they can enter. And so that's a completely different set of fee schedule, but we can get that information if somebody's interested. I'm going to throw this up there. As we said, our website currently has been wiped out, and we're functioning through all of our Facebook channels and mainly through email. So please get hold of us. We can get you any information that you might need. Our national competition is coming up March 30th through April 3rd. We're hosting it in the Council Bluffs, Omaha Metro. We have a great schedule every year. We spend a couple days doing a lot of fun stuff, getting to know each other, and then we get into the competitions and rehearsals and that. This is our 11th year with Nationwide Pageantry. So last year we celebrated our 10th anniversary, and we're now into our new decade. Our theme in March is going to be, as we journey down the yellow brick road into our new decade, a Return the Wizard of Oz theme. So we're going to really have some fun with that. I'm excited with that, and I know everybody else, I think, is excited with that. But we invite you to join our family. We really do have a family, and I think everybody has spoke to that. We would like to ask you to share the live feed. If you've been watching, please share it. Like all of our social media channels. Each title holder has her own title page. We have our Nationwide Pageantry. We have our charitable foundation page. So please like those. We post on all those very, very frequently, and that's where we make all of our announcements. And we will be doing a rebroadcast, and we'll announce that on all of our channels. But this will replay once, maybe twice more in the next month or so. So if you missed it, or if you want somebody else to watch it and you want to spread the word, please help us spread that word. I think a great way for us to end is I'm going to ask everyone to just give one last parting thought, whether it be about Nationwide, whether it be about pageantry in general, just your last parting words for everybody that's watching.
Be your true authentic self, embrace that, and love who you are.
Mine would be, if you have any desire, any, it's a thought, it's a gut feeling in your heart, if you to do it, take the step and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Nationwide, doesn't matter what age you are. Like Troy, we've got youth divisions now, and we go all the way up. There is no cap on our Ms. and our Mrs. divisions. So if you want to do this, you feel like I've never done pageants, like Rosanne was talking about, she came back to pageantry when she was 44. I left for a while and came back in my 30s. And, through COVID, I'll be 36 right before we give up the crown. So it's crazy to think like how much pageantry has grown. It's not 25 and done anymore. No. Ladies, we are just getting started. Come join us. Rock it. You get a pink. The crown is pink. Okay. The crown is pink and the sash is pink. And yeah, you can see it on Christina's head better. It's pink. And then you can see come, it's beautiful. All right. Like, this is how Troy has kept me involved for the last, almost 8 years, is he just keeps adding pink stuff. Right. Like, it's my favorite color, and it's like Barbie. So it's so fun. And we have a blast. Sparkle. You can sparkle as much as you want. You can shine as much as you want. And that's what we do here. There's nothing can be dull with Nationwide. You're fabulous the second you sign up.
Pageants inspire, and ladies, you're all an inspiration.
I just, every year I have a new group of title holders, and our family grows, and it's amazing. I've been involved in pageantry now for almost 30 years, since the first days as an escort at a Miss Iowa USA pageant, now directing. We all truly believe in the power of pageantry and the power of empowerment of women of all ages. That's what we're here for. That's our mission. And that's what we work for every day with the pageant, is to empower you and everybody that you touch to be better, to be yourself, and come join us. Come join our family. You will thoroughly enjoy your year, whether you're a state title holder, whether you're a national title holder. The door is open, and we want to invite you. So with that, I want to thank Christina, Kandis, and Mary all for giving their evening tonight so that we could do this Q&A. It's our first one ever. We'll probably do more. And, it's just the more that we can spread the word about pageantry in general, I think the better off everyone is, no matter what pageant system you're with. The more that pageantry is out there and the power of positive pageantry, it benefits everybody. Mm-hmm. So with that, we have a quick thank you. A couple thank yous there. And we will see you all on our socials. And we invite you to join us either as a contestant or as an audience member at Nationals in March. Come see what we're about, and we guarantee you'll have a great time. So with that, I'm going to say goodnight, and we will talk to you all or see you all very, very soon.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
ladies.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.